All right, thank you for staying with us. Joining us is a former commissioner in Lagos State Audit Commission, a former board member of different federal parastatals, such as the National Center for Women Development, Abuja, the National Horticulture Research Institute, and the Nigeria Television Authority, Abuja, a TV presenter turned politician, the Special Assistant on Trade and Investment and Technical Aid Corps in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Abuja. We cannot begin to reel out how many hats she wears, and she wears them so diligently. Please welcome House of Member-elect Kafilat Ogbara Adetola. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on the show this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Now, let's begin with your principal, who you respect so much. Under or after a week of his emergence in office, Nigerians have been seeing how he has been responding and reacting to situations across the country beyond removing fuel subsidy removal. He has also gone ahead to suspend the CBN governor, and that has been generating a lot of reactions. Let's get your perspective to all that he has been doing since he assumed office.
Some of us are not surprised because we knew what we had before we went all out to market our product. We are very proud of our principal, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, GCFR President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And Nigerians have seen clearly, even in very few days of about 10 or 11 days thereabouts, that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu remains focused and, of course, has the purposeful leadership to offer Nigerians. In the last meeting we had in the villa with the National Assembly members and the leadership of the federal government, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was able to impress a lot of even all our opposition members in the National Assembly. And a lot of people have been able to hear their testimonies after that meeting that they didn't even know that this was what Asiwaju was made of. They didn't know he was this intelligent. They didn't know he has so much vision and, of course, clear-minded, purposeful direction to lead Nigeria. And he was able to tell us at that meeting a lot of things he had been able to achieve, even beyond the media's information. We're able to know that he has even started to meet opposition governors on issues that affect their security in their states. He has started to meet with ExxonMobil on issues that has to be with what I can guess, of course, power. And of course, he has even able to start to talk about the deep sea ports in Akwa Ibom and a lot of other areas that he has been able to touch just in 10 days. We are very proud of him, and we hope and we are very sure that soonest Nigeria will be on the right track because we know what we have. We are sure of what we have. We know him, we believe in him, and we trust in his vision and his mission for Nigeria. Nigerians, please, this is just a tip of the iceberg. The real thing is still coming.
Right.
Well done, ma'am. Thank you so much for that. That was quite insightful. I see that through your profile, you've done a lot of things relating to government work and even personal stuff. So you also were a TV presenter, and that's just so intriguing to know. How has your journey been like in politics, and what are the key things that people would say that, yes, Ogbara Kafilat has done, right, in positions in times past?
My journey in politics started over 20 years ago. I first contested to go to the House of Assembly in Lagos. I also contested to the House of Rep in 2003 and 2007 before I won the election now. I've also contested the gubernatorial election in Ogun State to be the governor of Ogun State once. And since then, even though I was not in the Progressive Party at that time, I was in PDP, I have always had federal appointments at every interval. So, and politics for me is a way of ensuring that you contribute to your immediate environment. You see to happenings and everything that government has to offer in terms of policy and direction. It's not enough for us as Nigerians to think that the government will do it. We all also have a responsibility as citizens to do the right thing, because it's a symbiotic relationship and it goes a long way in ensuring that we have the right governance in our country. And this is what Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is bringing on board. I think this is the first time in the history of this country that a president will have a chit-chat with the whole of the National Assembly in the shortest period of assumption of office, and also relate with them, engage them, get close to them, and of course, also inform us as a legislative arm of government that, look, I am going to be operating an open door policy. And this means that he is already getting everybody involved, even though the independence of the legislature is very important, and of course the independence of both the executive and the legislature is also very important. But this does not mean that because the legislature does not want to be a rubber stamp, in quotes, as you media usually call them, they should start having issues with the executive. There must be a collaboration, there must be, cooperation, there must be synergy between the three arms of government, of course, even the judiciary, to ensure that we are able to deliver the right dividends of democracy to all Nigerians. And as Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu also said at that meeting, that we all also know that, of course, elections are over. We have finished the elections. The Nigeria project is the big thing that is before all of us. And we must all, if indeed our campaigns were not of selfish interest, of other interests, if it's about Nigeria, then we must drop our partisan politics and face the Nigerian project and ensure that we cooperate together to get the desired result, to ensure that Nigerians have the best of their country this time around.
Let's bring it down to women's participation in politics. In your own opinion, as a human and women's rights activist, what are the reasons why we have very few women in politics? And how do you think that the current administration can mitigate this?
Well, women participation in politics has not been low. I've always corrected that impression. A lot of women participate in politics, but women representation in appointive and political and, elective positions have been very, very low compared to our participation in politics. If you go to our political meetings, for instance, the ward meetings, the local government meetings, even our state meetings, you find out that the women are usually more. They are there as the crowd, they are there as the singers, they are there as whichever category you want to look at it. But when you look at the high table of those meetings, you'll find only the men occupying the seats. So when the dividends of, the labor comes, you find them, shortchanging the women. But when it's time to work, when they need you, when they want to use their numerical strength, when they want to add color to their events and all that, they remember the women. And if you look at what the statistics of the world is saying now, as we speak today, out of 146 countries, Nigeria is ranked the 141st in terms of women representation in political participation, in terms of elective and appointive positions. And even in Africa, our own Africa here, out of about 64 countries, I think we are the 64th, the last in number in terms of women representation, where Rwanda is leading as the very first with about close to 50%, while Nigeria is just about 5.45% or thereabouts. This is very, very low, very appalling, very, very unacceptable. And this is why we are appealing to the present government, because I think the women bodies also took the federal government to court in year 2020. And they got the judgment last year on the 6th of April, I think, where the Federal High Court in Abuja has said that the federal government now has the responsibility to ensure that 35% is given to women in appointive positions. And I'm very sure President Muhammadu Buhari and President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu will ensure that he upholds this mandate to ensure that women are given the right place for them in the society to ensure that they're able to play their role. We constitute over 50% of this population. And so when a nation decides to underuse the talents, the God-given talents of over 50% of our population, then definitely we are missing out something, because the lens at which women see things is very different from the way men see things. And of course, we are result-oriented, we are multitasking, we bring a lot of finesse, we bring a lot of, color and beauty, and of course, excitement to anything we handle. So, and we have tested a lot of women in the past, and we know how these women have been able to prove their worth. So I want to appeal to all our men. We're appealing to them. We continue to lobby them to, let them see reason to ensure that they position us the way they ought to. Even in the leadership of the National Assembly, we had just one woman in the last 9th Assembly, and we believe that we are going to be having more this time around, because definitely we will not be having less. We had one, so if we are not having more, definitely I know that a woman will represent us. But we are hoping to have more, because women, they will be able to ensure that we add value to the leadership of the National Assembly. And as it is today, I know that we have a lot of women in the National Assembly who are capable, who are able to give the right leadership to the National Assembly. With the joint task team, of which I'm a member, of course, the joint task team is a combination of people who came together to ensure that the right leadership is presented in the 10th Assembly.
All right.
The joint task came up initially as a body that is neutral to ensure that whoever the party presents for the leadership of the National Assembly will be supported in the long run.
So how
and
was
this
it
is where I have belonged since the beginning.
If you can hear me.
And I think even the joint task has been in operation since the 9th Assembly, where they came together in the interest of all Nigerians and in the interest of Nigeria, that to deliver Nigeria in good light is a joint task. This had been on in the Assembly, and I think this is just a continuation to ensure that we work together harmoniously with the executive arm of government and, of course, the judiciary, to ensure that we get the dividends of democracy across to Nigerians.
Right. Can you hear me? All right. If you can hear me, I was going to ask, you say you're part of the Joint Task Force team. How is it that you were not able to negotiate that a principal position was given perhaps to a woman? You had mentioned sometime or advocated some time that a principal position with regards to the zoning should be given to a woman, but we didn't see that happen, especially with your party. What transpired? Is it that the women are not negotiating their way to occupying some of these positions, such that the men can look at them and know that, yes, you are presenting something forward, and we can have you sit at the table?
If you have been following the politics in the National Assembly, the 10th Assembly recently, you found out that we had about 3 women that came out to contest. We had one that contested to be the Speaker, Mrs. Miriam, and we had 2 others that wanted to be deputy speakers, both of which are from the Southwest region. The other, the lady the honorable member that contested to be the Speaker is from the Southeast region. And, as it is, the party has taken position, and of course, the party is supreme. The position was zoned to Northwest and, of course, the Southeast region. And they even micro-zoned. It wasn't as if they just zoned it to the zones and then we can pick from the zones. They micro-zoned to the individuals. And for me, the party is supreme. I am a very loyal party member all my life. Wherever I stand, I am permanently there, like glued to the wall. So, and once the party has spoken, we have taken our position to ensure that we support the position of the party, of which, of course, the leader of the party as well, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has also, invited us to let us know that this is the position of the party, and we are going to support the position of the party, and that is to ensure that Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas becomes the Speaker, and
Right.
Honorable Benjamin Kalu becomes the Deputy Speaker. The principal offices are 10. That is just for the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker. So we are believing and we are very positive that definitely women will be included in the remaining 8 positions that constitutes the 10 members of the leadership of the House of Representatives. For me, the House of Rep, as a legislative body, is the soul of the nation. Once we get it wrong, a lot of things will go wrong. And this is why it is very important for us, as members of the 10th Assembly, to take a very good position by ensuring that we support the position of the party so that we can work harmoniously with the executive arm of government to ensure that we continue to promote the independence of the legislature and continue to promote the interdependence of both the executive and the legislature. And of course, the joint task affair is not just a temporary thing just to elect the leadership. We have, let me put it that way, we have our agenda to also ensure that we support good governance that has grassroots impact. We also have to ensure that we support community outreach. We also intend to ensure that there is equity and fairness within the ranking members and the new members. And of course, the leadership positioning of the assembly, we have the plan to also ensure that there's unity and there's fairness and equity as well. Because whatever we do, we have to ensure that to a reasonable extent, there is equity and fairness so that there won't be rancor and confusion everywhere. So, and this is why some of us have been able to play our part and ensure that whatever the team is doing, we have played our role to be very, very active and support everything that needs to be done in every platform, in every way we can, individually, connecting with people, engaging people, and canvassing everybody, lobbying everybody. I heard some people say that, actually, I was watching one of the channels recently, and some people were arguing that it's not in his place to say that they must do this, they must do that. He has not forced us. He is not compelling. He is not insisting. He is only advising, and he is lobbying. He has been able to do that. He has been able to lobby everybody. It's now left to us because we are still going to have an election on Tuesday. We are still going to elect. People will have the right to vote, to make their choice, because it's left to you. It's not enough for the party to say, this is where we are going. You still have a right as an individual, as an elected honorable member, to make up your mind on what exactly we want.
Thank you.
I know that a lot of our members, both in the Senate and of course in the House
much.
of Representatives, already have seen reason.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
They have seen
Can you hear me?
ingenuity. I can hear you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for speaking holistically. Particularly as regarding Kosofe local government or Kosofe House of Reps, what are the things that you intend to do, right, for residents within your jurisdiction going forward during this tenure? What are the things that you expect to do?
By the grace of God, I am well equipped. During my electioneering campaign, as I moved around, I had a note of the needs of my constituents. And like I tell people, coming to the House of Representatives, you are not just representing your people in your local government, you are representing Nigerians. Because every bill sponsored, every laws made will be affecting the generality of Nigerians. But we are there to represent them, to listen to them, to address issues that directly affect them so that we'll be able to amplify it at the chambers of the National Assembly. So, and for me, as an individual for Kosofe Federal Constituency, I'm well equipped with the needs of my constituency. I intend to ensure that I support bills that affect young people generally, and I've started to collect data, to engage people, and of course, to also profile them. Because I believe that our young people, they need engagement. We need to be able to collaborate with them, to listen to them, to know exactly what the issues are. Some people are presently employed. They are not satisfied with the kind of employment they have. Some are not employed at all. We need to know the age category, what you have passion for. Some have artisan jobs that they are doing. Some needs to be equipped with whatever facility they need to, upgrade their businesses and all that. So these are the collection and collection that we are doing presently so that we know where to address what. I will also be ensuring that the oversight functions that I will be doing, I will be using it to facilitate and influence, positivity to my constituency so that I will be able to ensure that the human capacity and the human capability of my constituents is enhanced and improved, because I have heard of what exactly I need to do in every locality. I know there are needs in Mende, I know there are needs in Oworo, I know there are needs in Ifako, I know there are needs in Ikosisheri and Agboike to everywhere. I know what exactly I need to do. And I'm very, very focused on this. Depending on whatever committee I find myself, I believe that wherever you find yourself, it's not about the committee, it's about the personality and how you are able to use that office. So wherever you find yourself, I'm not always very bothered, even though I try to influence my area of expertise so that I'll be able to maximize my potentials.
All right.
But what is really important is the passion and the interest you have to touch lives, to ensure that you address the needs of people. That is why we are here. We are not here because of any other reason.
Right.
We are here to represent.
That,
to represent, we must.
That's
to ensure
right.
that our people
It's so good.
get the
It's so
dividends
good
of
to
democracy.
hear about your passion for your
My
constituents.
people in Kosofe Federal Constituency,
Can you hear me?
They are in for a very, very good time and a period of benefits of dividends of democracy.
Fantastic. It's so good to hear about your passion and love for your constituents, and I'm sure they are looking forward to the plans that you have for them. But let's take it to your career growth. What kind of support have you enjoyed in your career growth, and how can this kind of support be extended to other women that are interested in politics?
My career path, politically or private sector?
Political career.
Which one are you asking?
Political career. What kind of support have you enjoyed to elevate your political career, and how can this same support be extended to other women interested in politics?
Well, the best support that I have ever had all my life is the support of my husband. He has been very supportive. He has been there for me all the time. He shares ideas with me. He gives me ideas. He's the pillar, it's my rock, it's my everything. If without him, I won't be here today. I think that is the best support I have had. And of course, my children as well. I'm a grandmother. I have children who have been very supportive. I have 2 lawyers. I have, they have been very supportive as well. So I think the family support, you can't compromise it.
Right.
It's the best support a woman needs.
What about the political structure?
You must not compromise the interest of your family.
How about
anything.
women?
So I try to balance both.
How about women supporting women?
Family,
how do you intend to extend
I
this?
ensure that people see me, they think I'm so outgoing, I am very, very homely.
How do you intend to help other women?
I'm home with my family. I don't joke with that peace, the comfort of my home. I believe that as women, you must ensure that you have 100%, or 100%, not 99%, support of your family. And of course, apart from that, when you get out there to start politics, you have to get it right from the beginning by ensuring that you are coming out from a base where you are popular. If it's your husband's state that you want to use, you check it out, check the popularity of your husband, check his goodwill, and check how acceptable you are in that state as well. Or if you want to use your state of origin, check the goodwill of your parents, your background, check how popular your family is in that axis, and see how far you can go. For me, I have contested in Lagos State. When I found out that, when I was nominated for ministerial appointment twice, and they were always saying, she's not from Lagos State, she's from Ogun State, I said, okay, let me go to my state. So I went to Ogun State, I went to contest governorship election there. I was still accepted. But in the long run, because of the mobility of going back and forth, as a woman, we can use our father's state and we can use our state. I decided to stay back in my husband's state because I'm a Lagosian as well. All my children are Lagosian. My husband is from Lagos State. So you have to look at that, taking your foot from your best point of popularity. So, and then when you get out there as well, you will be meeting a lot of challenges. Politics is very, very expensive. It's not cheap at all. So you have to be prepared as a woman. You must have a very good source of income. If possible, streams, not just one source of income, to ensure that you are able to juggle it. Because in politics, you are going to be paying a lot of dues without any income for a very long time before you are able to balance and get things done. So if you have a very good business, you can use politics to enhance your business.
All right.
This is some of the things I have been able to achieve.
Kafilat, can you hear me?
As a woman, you have to... Yes, I can hear you.
Very good, because I asked the question earlier about this matter of women supporting women. What kind of support did you get from the women folk apart from your family?
Supporting women.
And then how do you intend to extend support to the women? What kind of bills would you be looking at pushing that will be in favor of the women, aside you looking at, also supporting women who are looking to be like you in the future?
Thank you. As women, we must continue to support ourselves. We must love ourselves. We are very few in political offices. So for me, I have always supported women. My local government, I have a woman as the council chairman there, Princess Samiat Abolale Bada. And I'm sure if you interview her today, she will tell you that when she looked at her back and saw nobody, I think I remained there for her. And when I had to do mine too, she was there for me. So that is very, very significant and is very important for us as women not to, engage in petty jealousy, rivalry, envy, and all that. Because once you look at yourself, you assess yourself. Whatever you have is what you can give. You cannot give what you don't have. If a woman is better than you, you can't be better than her. You can only improve on yourself. When you try to cross those boundaries, you will crash. So we need to continue to stand together, stand by ourselves, and work with ourselves. I have always supported women, and I will continue to support women. And of course, in the House of Representatives, as we are today, I intend to push position of ensuring that women that have been elected in positions, because we cannot, look at the Senate, for instance, we had 7 women there. 7 women that had gained a lot of experience, and we lost all of them just to bring in 3 new, fresh women that do not even have legislative experience. This is a colossal loss. This is not good for our democracy, and it's not good for the women, because we are still trying to build up on our gains. So how can we ensure that the gains we have are sustained? We are going to move around all our former presidents, all our party chairmen, the national party, across board, all the political parties. We have a lot of work to do. I have opened a platform for our women in the 10th Assembly, and we have started engaging. We did our first meeting just about 3 days ago, and we are very determined to move this time around so that we consolidate on our gains and ensure that we break new grounds, not just surpassing the gains that we already have. We have to break new grounds and ensure that we achieve more gains. We have to, sponsor bills that we ensure that where women have been elected, it is only a woman that should be encouraged to replace such women. Else, we cannot get through anywhere, because we know that women already have challenges, even from childhood. As a girl child, if you look at our northern region, most of the girl children don't really go to school, except now that they are trying to improve on that. The girl children that are out of school are a lot. And when a child does not have the right foundation, a girl child, it will build up to a woman that will not be able to contest an election, that will not be able to speak good English, that will not be able to be qualified to get a good job. When you are not qualified to get a good job, you are already disenfranchised as regards the quality of income that you'll be having. So this is a very long process that has affected our women. Even religious and cultural factors have affected us in a very long way. So we need our men to be able to understand and support us in every way. I tried to do a research from some of our past leaders that why, when you were president, sir, what happened? Why were you not able to ensure that we had more women? And the excuses were very, very flimsy about our agenda, which is very discriminatory and not acceptable at all. Women, a lot of us are better than the men. I stand to be corrected. So we should be encouraged. We should be, used as a tool to develop this nation, because we have a lot to offer. We are very passionate. We are very, sensitive to human needs, and we are also very responsive to the needs of our people. So if we want to get our nation on the right track, we have to deliberately and intentionally ensure that we use individuals, more of women, to get the dividends of democracy down to the grassroots to affect our people. Because what do we really stand for? We stand for people. We stand for family. And it is the education, the moral values that we inculcate in our children that we take to the society.
You mentioned that.
Are you speaking to me?
Yes, you mentioned that. Yes. Can you hear me now, ma'am? Okay, you mentioned.
Yes, I can.
Yeah. You mentioned that there were some reasons that your male counterparts actually gave you, which the reason.
Presidents gave. You said that some excuses our former presidents gave that sounded flimsy. If you could just give us an insight into what those excuses were to help our understanding.
Absolutely.
No, they say that because women sleep around. I didn't want to say it on air.
Wow.
So, and then I asked, do they sleep alone?
Absolutely.
No, this is very, very unacceptable. We will not take it from them, and we believe that most of the time they just use it to run women down. They try to degrade you. They try to pull you down. They try to demoralize you because they know that you have something to offer. So this is the challenge that women have faced. And that was the only excuse I got from one of our former presidents.
So from that,
I don't want to mention
from all of these excuses, what would you want this current president to do differently? He has said he would support women. In fact, perhaps he's even looking at a 50% affirmative action. What do you want him to do differently, knowing that he has shown that he supports women?
Well, I know that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a gender-sensitive person. Even as a governor, he had a woman as his deputy, and he has always encouraged that we have women as deputy governors in Lagos State. And even in the cabinet, he tries to ensure that women are positioned. And this is a man that was able to allow his own wife to go to the Senate as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So you can imagine how sensitive he is to issues that, concerns women. So I don't have any doubt at all as to how I need to advise or, say, encourage him or whatever more. I believe automatically that women will be well positioned in the time of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu because he knows what to do. He knows the right thing to do. I've told people, I said, for me to I came to this party because of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, not because of anything else, because I saw that progressive attitude in him. I saw the vision he has for this country. The first time I met him, after the introduction and all that, before we spoke for 10 minutes, he was already talking about his vision for Nigeria. Then there was nothing like him wanting to contest an election. This was a very long time ago, and I'm like, no, this is the man. But he didn't even have the ambition. He was just correcting the ills of the country at that time. And he brought a lot of ideas as to they're supposed to do this, they're supposed to do this. And I'm like, wow. So this is a man that has the ideas. Innovation rules the world. Asiwaju is a very, very innovative leader. And this is why some of us, even before people keyed into the vision, keyed into the presidential move, some of us were already out with the swagger movement to campaign to the world that Asiwaju is the man we want to contest for president, even when he had not even spoken about his intention to contest the election. So we believe passionately about him. This is not a joke. This is not gainsaying. It's not, I don't know what people will call it, but this is reality. Because we are convinced, we have that conviction that this is the man. And Nigerians that have not realized will soon realize.
Member-elect House of Reps Kafilat Ogbara Adetola, we must thank you for your insight into matters that concerns women and the fact that you believe strongly that the current administration would give women a pride of place in this administration, and I believe a lot of Nigerians are looking forward to that. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Right. So much has been said with regards to women, and we hope, as she has spoken, that she would push some of the things she has promised. Nigerians will be putting her on her toes. You mentioned it. We look forward to seeing you doing it in the coming days. And as she has pointed out, the current administration has said that they would look at women in the direction of women to have some appointments. And then there are some bills that were put before the past administration. And we hope that that also will be revisited, because it also has to do with the lives and protection of women.